Good evening. Tonight, President Joe Biden delivered a historic farewell address
My fellow Americans, I'm speaking to you tonight from the Oval.
Influence of oligarchy in the United States. Biden's remark
Before I begin, let me speak to important news from earlier today.
at the forefront of the nation's concerns. In his speech, he emphasized the dangers posed by the concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a select few, calling for urgent reforms to safeguard democracy. During the address, President Biden painted a stark picture of the growing divide between the richest Americans and the rest of the country. He warned that if unchecked, this imbalance could undermine the very fabric of American democracy. Biden's speech, "America is at a crossroads. We face a future where a handful of powerful elites, driven by unchecked greed, could control the political process, crushing the voices of the people. This is the path toward a dangerous oligarchy." To understand the weight of Biden's words, we need to look at the history of oligarchies, which have existed in various forms throughout history. In many nations, oligarchies emerged when wealth and power were concentrated in the hands of a few, leaving the majority of the population without any meaningful influence on governance.
By Israel and Hamas, the elements of which I laid out in.
He urged Congress and the American people to take bold steps to address the growing influence of corporations and the ultra-wealthy on the political system. Biden's speech, "It is time to restore the voice of the people. We need reforms to limit the power of money in politics, strengthen campaign finance laws, and hold the wealthy accountable for their influence on the political process." The president's address has sparked a range of reactions across the political spectrum. Some are praising his words as a long overdue acknowledgement of the growing dangers to democracy. Others, particularly critics of the current administration, have called Biden's warnings alarmist and politically motivated. One of the core issues Biden addressed is the intersection of economic inequality and political polarization. He noted that while the wealth gap in the U.S. continues to grow, so too does the divide between political ideologies, with extreme factions on both sides of the political spectrum gaining more influence. As President Biden closes the chapter of his presidency, his final address serves as both a reflection of the challenges America faces and a call to action for the future. Whether his warnings will lead to significant political reform remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: the fight to protect democracy and ensure fair representation for all Americans is far from over.